people into our trip up north because our discussion started off today about how to make that peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That just shows you what people talk about to take their minds off where a team may end up. Because I've already been told in the booth today that Saddleback has a great chance to host in the playoffs. Then again, they may be on the road. And there's that outside chance. We'll leave that alone here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So it's a big game against Irvine Valley today. It's, I'm going to say, an absolute win has to come for the Bobcats here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So as we get things started off, it'll be Quezada, McCarran, and Murray starting things off for Irvine Valley. We'll get to the defense for your Bobcats in just a second here on SportsNetUSA.net. Fouled off. Hit into the alley. So Irvine Valley starts things off quickly with a clean single into the alley here at Saddleback College. McCarran comes up. You look at Sean McCarran, batting .252 this season for Irvine Valley. Irvine Valley's got a team batting average of .266. Marker comes to the plate. Castelli fouls it off.
I was very curious myself. Can't be a whole lot on 65.
So Irvine Valley decides they're going to go out and talk to their pitcher. Don't know if he's hurt. They didn't like to see what he had going on, so we quickly have Irvine Valley going in the mound. Usually when it's that, it's something that a pitcher might feel, maybe a pull in his legs. The arm doesn't feel right. So if they claim it's an injury, the relief pitcher will be able to come in and get enough time to warm up. And it looks like that's what's going to happen, as Marker's going to go off the mound. And just didn't feel right after the second pitch. So Zach Marker goes off. And so Irvine Valley, because of something going on with the pitcher, Easton now comes on the mound.
Yes, he did. He did. That's kind of crazy. He went like 4 too. 4 arm.
So it's Easton.
He wasn't bad though.
Yeah, he pitched 3 innings, got the save.
Had 36 innings, ERA of 1.98.
I mean, it looks hittable to me, so. Yes. It's in the black box.
So an injury going on here, and that'll have it warm up. So we got a little delay here in the first inning on SportsNetUSA.net. So looking at things going on, injury out there. So like we say, when you have a pitcher that comes on because of an injury, they allow them enough time to warm up. It's not that traditional, we'll give you 5-6 pitches. You should be warm in the bullpen already. You look at the top of the first. Irvine Valley had an opportunity. They loaded the bases. Looked like they were going to get an opportunity to score. Their chance went by the wayside. So Eastham. Castelli gets to look at 2 different people. fouls that one off. I'd say let's start all over, but we're right there right now. Pops it up. Is there room? No, it goes out of play. One ball, two strikes. One and two to the leadoff hitter. Strike three, swinging. So Tanaka comes up, who had the last time we were here and when we saw him at Cypress, had an incredible hitting streak going. I believe he reached 34, 35 games in a row, 34 I believe it was. Tanaka, a little slow roller. He's got the speed. Nice play made over at first base by Snitko. Flips it to the pitcher coming off the mound, and Albert, lots of times on that play, you don't see a pitcher coming off the mound quickly enough to help make the play.
Absolutely, but fortunately for the pitcher on the mound, being a righty, he's naturally going to be falling off the left side of the mound. That's where his weight's going to be carrying him. He had that advantage to actually make that play.
J.C. Allen now comes up. J.C. was hitting .331 coming into the game. 56 RBIs. He is the leader of this team on driving in runs.
And so, not that I wasn't paying attention before, Mark, but do we have a pitching change? I was helping Ed fix,
fix some
of our numerous audio
I know what
problems.
you were doing over there. Yeah, we do. We have a new pitcher in there, and that is Tyler Heastum.
All righty then.
So he came in because Zach Marker must have had something wrong. Threw a couple pitches, and you could tell he looked at the dugout a couple times, Albert, like, I just don't feel right. They came out and replaced him.
And, you know, like at this time of the year, at this point in the season, that's okay. Like for Irvine Valley in the position you are currently in the in the OEC, take your time. We got a good chance to make the playoffs. Let's have you not possibly further damage yourself and make sure you're ready to go.
The OEC, the most competitive conference out of all of them in baseball. So JC walks. So Jacob Bouchane comes up. Right at the 300 level. Bouchane, runner over at first, 2 outs. Ball breaks off the plate for a ball. On deck, Junior Barajas. Flip over to first, not in time. Allen gets back. JC's got 5 stolen bases this season, only caught once, so he can run if he wants to. We'll see if they send him. Just leading, almost. Close, but no Snicker bar. Fouled away. 1-1. Nice day out here. 337 down the left field line, 400 to dead center, 382 in the power alley and right center, 328 down the right field line. That's the short porch here at Bobcat Field. Easy grounder, quick bounce, force out at second, just barely as they have to stretch there. But Hoskinson flips it over to Pizzetta for the third out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one left on base as we head to the second inning. Well, it's almost like we're starting again. Irvine Valley 0, Saddleback 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Look at the playoff situation like we said. We talked to everybody up in the booth today. It's crowded here in the OEC. If you win, you lose. You could go from first to almost to the bottom, to in the playoffs, to out of the playoffs, to, hey, when it comes to Saturday, who knows what, where. Last year, it looked like the defending state champion, Santa Ana, was off and running. And then all of a sudden, all 4 tires blew out on them, and they were stuck on the freeway. So who knows what may happen here as it goes on this season. It will come down to the last weekend when you follow the Bobcats to find out where they may be when the time for the playoffs to be announced. Are we at home? Are we at the road? Or are we okay here on Sportsnet, USA.net? Serrato coming up, start off the second. So it looked like Irvine Valley had an opportunity in the first. Aaron Serrato catching for Irvine Valley. Takes one high and tight. Serrato batting .267, 16 RBIs this season. Slugging percentage of .493 as he fouls off the next pitch. 4 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs for Irvine Valley. Off the plate for a ball. Sun's out, wind's blowing, clouds in the distance. Pretty day to watch a ball game. High and away.
It was rather cloudy earlier as we were setting up, but eventually, as it happens for both of us, sun happens to break out just in time.
Does. Yeah, it really is. I mean, this is a beautiful field, beautiful facility here at Saddleback College.
Got a nice little breeze going on, too.
Serrato swings through that one. Fouls it off. Hudson over at first. Castelli at second. Nicoluk at short. Allen at third. Bouchane in left. Tanaka in center. And Hoyer is in right. That's the defense for your Bobcats. Down the right field line. Hudson goes after it. Makes the catch over the shoulder. What a play. Acrobatic by the first baseman for your Bobcats. So Shorter comes up. Left fielder for Irvine Valley. .206 this season. Just a little high, I guess. He sets up deep in the box. He is right on the back line in the batter's box. A little flinch on that one for a strike. On the corner. Chokes up on the bat. Says an offer on that. He's about 4 inches high now. Swings through that for the second out. Well, you know what? I like at least two people are walking off the field after that strikeout. The pitcher and the catcher. The rest of the team wanted to know if it was vacation or something. They were out.
I mean, it certainly looked good enough to end the inning.
Yeah, it did. Hoskinson. You know what? You like when the crowd throws things at you, but when you're sitting next to somebody in the booth and they're throwing things at you, you just feel like you need to move down further. You say all the nice things about the Bobcats, and, you know, I'm in the Bobcat broadcast booth, you know. So 2 quick outs here in the top of the second. Connor Hoskinson. Batting .241. Playing shortstop for Irvine Valley. Infield in. Everybody stepped up a couple feet. Breaking ball that doesn't break. 2-1, 3-1 now. Three and two. We got I can hear our freight helicopter outside. Look up our bags so we can have those just flown down to the parking lot for us.
That'd be nice.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base with a couple strikeouts. Irvine Valley says goodbye to the second inning. It's Irvine Valley 0, Saddleback 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Make sure you check all your college's home pages to see what their schedule is for the upcoming playoffs. So make sure you come to the athletic page at Saddleback to see when the playoffs are posted, when they may be played, are they at home or are they on the road, so you can follow your team during their journey in the playoffs. And then make sure you check the homepage at sportsnetusa.net. See who they're covering during the playoffs, be it baseball and or softball this coming season for the playoffs on sportsnetusa.net. As we head to the bottom of the second, it'll be Barajas, Hudson, and Deutsch coming up for your Bobcats of Saddleback. Albert, Ed, and myself here on sportsnetusa.net. Watched Cypress College yesterday, where difference between night and day, Albert. I mean, we tease about the Albert Robles vortex over at Cypress. We know the ballpark's a little smaller over there, but really two different ballparks, right?
Yeah, they absolutely play a little bit differently. I believe at Cypress it's like 330, 325-ish like on the actual corners, 386 out to deep center. Here it's 400 out to deep center. But given the locale, we're probably at like a little bit of a higher elevation. Not really too much of a difference, but the wind, given that Cypress, a little more of a beach city, closer to it, more wind flying out here than it is out here. Like the ballparks play vastly different.
Yeah, I mean, we've teased all year long about the Albert Express, but they really do. I mean, yesterday they were flying out of the ballpark again. Barajas.
I mean, it's like that, like wind vortex that exists out in Yankee Stadium now. Like if you hit it out to right center now, like the ball's gone. It's same thing at Cypress. If you hit out that little area in left center, kiss it goodbye.
It just keeps going. Yeah. That's why if you make the playoffs, you want to stay at home. Barajas fouls it off. There is that advantage to knowing your ballpark and where to hit the baseball.
Not to mention the general layout as an outfielder. Like you have a better sense of where the warning track is, where like the little divots are in the grass. You just have an idea of the better routes to take.
Yeah, and you know how much room you have while you're going back there. 1 and 2's the count. Little waggle by Junior. Junior. It's an easy one. Over to the second base person, Pizeta, who fields it and then alley-oops it when he goes to throw the ball. So that's going to be an E4.
Yeah, botched that in transition.
Brings up Hudson. Jacob. Squares throw over to first. Hudson batting .266 this season. Squares again. Drops it down. Moves the runner on. Flipped to first. Nice little sacrifice bunt by Hudson.
Situations at the door, so when you step inside, jump on the floor.
So Deutsch comes up, designated hitter today. Matthew batting .256. 4 doubles this season. 14 RBIs. Runner in scoring position. See, you would realize why we call it the vortex out at Cypress, because Albert's up here, he's got the fan going, he's got that vortex blowing towards him, so he's not comfortable without a vortex at a baseball field. Creating his own up in the booth here.
It gets hot setting up all the equipment, man. I'm a big body. Generate a lot of heat.
Big body Albert.
Yeah.
Just call you BB for short now.
Like 6'2", 220, man.
Going all the way back was just position. I mean, he's sitting out there in shallow right field when he makes the catch on that one. They'd call it, you call it a pop out to second, but either outfielder in center or right could have made that play.
Still a pretty impressive play by Kazad. He was kind of backtracking, caught it a little off balance, but credit to him, he stayed with it.
Yeah, he did. Bryson Hoyer comes up. Batting .243 this season. Swings through that one. Mighty swing by Bryson. 17 hits. 9 RBIs. 3 home runs, 1 double this season. Down low. 1-1's the count. So we get sunshine, then we get clouds. So it's one of those days, if you're an outfielder, you think you've got it nice. Next thing you know, you lose the ball in the clouds, or it gets a little too bright out. Trying to keep Barajas close to second base. Playing dance with Barajas a little bit short. Stand on his hip. They stand right off his right shoulder. Then move in close to him. Let him know he's there. Buck starts talking to him right about now. Says, hey, I'm right behind you. And that's one of the things you do as infielders. We used to do it in the old days when there was a runner on second. If you were playing short or second, you'd talk to him. You'd let him know you were right behind him. Make them look over your shoulder. See if they can find you. Hit your glove a couple times, slap it. Strike 3, right down the pipe. So for Saddleback, no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. So we head to the top of the third. Well, we're just playing goose eggs right now. It's Irvine Valley 0, Saddleback 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. You know, I'm going to blame that fan on bringing the clouds back in here. Got the wind going. It's sucking in the moisture. That's right. We started the day off by talking peanut butter and jelly, and now we're talking weather conditions here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Yeah, look at Albert. He turned it off. He wants sunshine. Albert, you've seen quite a few teams in the OEC this season. You did games at Santa Ana, so you've seen Santa Ana play. You've seen Fullerton play. You've seen Saddleback play. You've seen OCC play. So, I mean, the quality of baseball in the OEC, impressed?
It's top tier. Because, I mean, like, when you look at, like, some of these other conferences, like, I've seen an ELAC game or two. And, of course, you know, they're in the South Coast Conference, completely unrelated, but seen quite a bit of baseball across Southern California. And when you look at the OEC, it's just an absolute powerhouse. And, you know, granted, at this level, the pitching is always going to be, you know, a little hard to find. Because, granted, if you're good pitching, you're probably not going to be here. But hitting is superfluous. It is everywhere. And it is, of course, everywhere here in the OEC.
So Albert understands baseball and has seen the best. So we're going to say it all the time. OEC, it's hard to compete with. Go back to the top of the order. Quezada comes back up. Got a base hit his first time up, then was forced out. Second. One ball, one strike. You're in the top of the third. Moving right along. Nice turnout here at Saddleback. Right on the corner. He didn't like that call. Barajas says, that was perfect. It was in my glove, right on the edge. Just above your knees. You should have swung. Pull that foul. So the ball is sitting right down the left field line, bounced off the wall, and it's just in fair play, so we'll stop play for just a second. Chase batting .260 this season. Looks at that high and away. Chase, second base person for Irvine Valley. Swings through it. Five strikeouts now for Wade on the mound, the lefty. Looking pretty, painting a picture out there. McCarron comes up. Drives it down the left field line. That's foul. Karen's 12 ribbies, 3 walks, and 20 strikeouts. So he's a free swinger at the plate. Down in the dirt. Barajas couldn't control that one. It rolls away. Fouled away. You know, the community colleges should look at the type of baseball park they've got here. Grandstand's just big enough to handle a nice crowd. They've got the magic thing, lights on a field. Fouled away. Bank of lights down to right field and left field line. Something that all baseball and softball fields should have on a community college level. Fouled away. I mean, if you're going to build it right. You know, and we will always say here at Sports, and you'll always find people that will want to use your facility if you build it right. McCarron takes it to the alley, not enough, and it just drops into that vacant land out left field.
Good example of building your facility right, Mark. You know, Saddleback recently redid their football stadium, soccer field, and track arena. They're going to be hosting the state track and field championships.
Yeah, they've got a beautiful facility over there. You've been there.
That press box is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's very impressive.
Murray comes up, squares. Said he pulled back in time. Cade playing right field. And if you look behind the stadium, you've got soccer practice fields and
2 additional practice fields.
football practice field. Right down the middle. We've called soccer on the main field for Saddleback. High off the plate. Irvine in blue and gray. Move over to first. Interesting move. Kick of the foot. I'm not sure he kicked it towards first base. I thought he kicked it towards home. about that one. that was pretty interesting.
Also a bit of a one-hop throw. I'm like, okay, that's one way to try to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, I think he sort of went, oops, I better throw to first because I'm not sure where
I should probably commit.
Albert and I sort of looked at each other like, oh, okay, square dancing here on the field. McCarron over at first with a clean single. Off the plate, Barajas looking like he wanted to snap throw to first. Murray had a single his first time up. Snitko on deck. Strike three. Well, Wade's consistent. 2 strikeouts per inning is what he's averaging. The way we're going here, he should have 18 at the end of the game. Snitko had a single his first time up. Jackson, first base person. Right across and breaks to the other side of the plate.
Dirty pitch.
Now I know 2 people called Jackson Smith, but Jackson Smith. Swing and a miss. So no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. As we head to bottom of 3, Irvine Valley 0, Saddleback 0. Here on SportsUSA.net. Albert, Ed, the old guy, happy to bring you this game. Like I said, keep your eye on the playoffs for baseball and softball. We've got softball playoffs right around the corner. Here on SportsNetUSA.net, we'll be going over to Cypress College. Following Brad Pickler's crew, we'll have the who, what, where, and when for you, so make sure you check the homepage at SportsNetUSA.net. And whatever else may come our way, that's why you want to check that homepage. All of a sudden you go there and go, gosh, my team's on SportsNetUSA.net. If I'd have known that, I'd have turned it on. So make sure you look for Albert Robles or Corey Nalen or myself or anybody else.
Also helps to like and subscribe to the streams, so getting notifications to any scheduled events that we might have.
That would be nice, so you know what's going on. Or if you're watching Santa Ana, you might listen to Noah Alvarez.
And regardless of the team of you support, if you just like watching this level of athletics just to see who's coming up, see who could be the next big thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us a follow because we like to cover a good amount of sports. We are fans of the game.
Nicoluk. Andrew, the short stop for your Bobcats. Andrew batting .320 this season. 14 RBIs, 33 hits. He scored 28 runs. Versatile baseball player. Down low. Saddleback trying to make sure they stay in the hunt.
Boy, that painted the white line in the batter's box from my point of view, but the umpire disagrees with me because I'm a little old and he's a lot closer. So, Nicoluk gets called out on strike 3. Castelli comes back up. He struck out his first time up. Almost on the kneecap for a ball. Tanaka on deck. Castelli, another person that sits deep in the batter's box. One of those lefties that drops his hands during the pitch. You watch him, so he's got his hands up high. Comes over, puts that one in the dugout for Irvine Valley. The Lasers. That gets him on the knuckles.
Two trailer park girls go round the outside.
Over Cypress yesterday.
That one guy got
Two
hit
trailer
twice.
park girls go round the outside, round the outside, round the outside.
Well, the one that got hit on the
Right there, the tricep area.
like Albert said, if he's not wearing a pad, he's in a lot of pain. Tanaka comes up. Flip over to first, not in time. Tanaka's streak was stopped by Cypress College when they played their last game in Saddleback this season. Oh, that was close. Let's get Dirty getting back on that one. Nice move over to first. Stelly has 4 stolen bases, caught 3 times this season. Little distraction going on. Were you a lefty or a righty when you hit? Way back when you played.
Righty, but I consistently lobbied to try to switch hit.
Did you really?
Consistently.
You don't see many switch hitters anymore. They're dedicated to one side. Foul ball.
As of course, I am ambidextrous, so I always try to lobby that. My coaches are always like, no, just hit righty.
Yeah, I miss the switch hitters that can bat from the left or right side.
I do remember one instance, though, kind of showed them up a little bit mid at bat because you can.
You can switch sides.
I switched from righty to left and promptly roped one down the left field line for a triple.
There you go.
And despite that, I was still told, yeah, don't do that again. The one time I get ahead, you're going to tell me not to do the thing I did?
Yeah, exactly. Albert said, that's it, I'm done. I proved my point. I'm through. Yeah, you know what? I'd really like to know in the majors if there's any true switch hitters anymore or in college baseball. I've never seen any in college baseball now. Throw over to first, not in time.
The only switch hitter that comes to mind active right now in the majors is switch hitting catcher Adley Rushman for the Orioles. I know there's still a few out there. Far and few.
Throw back to first.
Rare rights.
Yeah. Well, you get some people that supposedly throw a knuckle curve. You'll hear that every once in a while. Strike on the corner.
Which is handy, but the thing still spins.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's basically how they position their fingers on the ball. That's why they call it that. But, you know. Throw back over to first. So it's been a guessing game. Here in the bottom of the third, runner at first. Is he going? Is he not? Castelli gets a nice lead again. Almost to the edge of the cutout. Tanaka pulls it foul. And, of course, that's where you look when you're a pitcher on the mound. You look and see, does that runner get out to the cutout? Boy, he does. I need to get him back. Tries to get a little easy dodgy, edges out just a little. Tanaka. Run first. And a stumble over there by Smithville. He was going to go to second and he loses his balance. And he's lucky he gets
That's 9, JC Allen.
When I woke, I spent that on a
Very
necklace. I told God I'll be back in
J.C. Allen comes up. J.C. walked in the first inning. Runner advances. Ground out. Runner at second. 2 outs for your Bobcats. Here in the bottom of the third. Trying to start this game off and get that 1-run lead. Down for a ball. Zach Marker started the game for Irvine Valley, threw a few pitches, looked over at the dugout and realized that he wasn't right. Let his manager know he wasn't right, so they took him out for an injury and brought in Eastham or Eastham. Breaking ball for a strike on the outside corner. Boy, there's been some pretty ones of those today. They're rolling them off the edge, to say the least. Checks the runner at second, brings it home. Snitko has that one easily and goes to the bag himself. No runs, no hits, no errors, but 1 left on base. We're through 3, sitting at 0. Bobcats 0, Irvine Valley, the Lasers 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. So it's been a pitching duel so far. So Santa Ana's leading, Golden West is leading, and Cypress is leading in all their games. Santa Ana, who came from behind yesterday and beat Fullerton.
Yes, Santa Ana currently leading 2-0 over Fullerton. They're in the bottom of the third. Golden West up over Orange Coast 2-0. They're in the 4th inning. Of course, we're tied here, and Cypress is up over Riverside 2-1. They're in the top of the 4th.
So, see what happens. Like we said, the first 3 make it into the playoffs as long as number 3 is over 500. If they're not, then it goes to RPI after that. So there's going to be conferences where you'll have a team that, you know, is over that magic 500 mark, and yet you could have 5 teams over that magic mark, and 2 of your teams is not going to make it. Stafford comes up, hits it deep to the alley, to the corner, to the back. Caught out there on an easy play by Tanaka. Deep in the alley for Saddleback. He glides when he plays defense out there in the outfield.
About to say easy for Tanaka with just his range and ability. Just makes everything look so smooth.
So Grutzmacher comes up. Struck out his first time up. Takes that for a strike. Grutzmacher batting .259. Left field. Lazy fly ball. Just stand over there and admire it when you make that catch, as Jacob Bouchain does. 2 flies, 2 outs. So brings up Serrato. Aaron Serrato, the catcher. Popped out to Hudson his first time up. So Jack Wade feeling very much control on the mound for the Saddleback Bobcats. Was threatened in the first, but since then has been very steady on the mound. I like watching Junior catch for Saddleback.
Absolutely, Mark. I was actually going to say, I've been watching both Barajas and Serrato behind the plate, kind of seeing their approaches, and I've noticed that Barajas tends to adapt the situation in terms of how he holds his actual stance. If there's nobody on, he'll extend out, get really low. He'll basically be sitting in the dirt to actually get low, frame his actual pitches. If a runner gets on base, like one had gotten on the previous inning, he'll actually take one knee down, one knee up, and kind of switch to knees based off of what side the hitter is playing on to give himself that extra mobility just in case one happens to get away should there be a runner on base. Whereas Serrato, he tends to have a little more of a lower stance, and then when the actual pitch comes, he'll jump up, kind of widen out, and then ready to go with the actual frame. So it's kind of interesting to see how they approach being behind the plate for their pitcher.
Yeah, so every framer does it differently. High. Outfield in again. Foul straight back. You sit behind home plate, that ball gets fouled off, gets hit your direction, you flinch as a fan.
But if you're a broadcaster, you're stone cold steady.
I tell you. Just stick your hand up, catch it, or you try. On the inside part of the plate, strike 3 called. Picturesque pitch. No runs, no hits, no errors, and absolutely nobody left on base. As we head to bottom of 4, it's the Lasers 0, the Bobcats 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. If you get a chance while you're watching the game, go back to what Albert was talking about, because Albert just gave you a great little instructional on what it is to watch a catcher behind the plate, because, hey, if you're a pitcher, yeah, you're pitching to the plate, but Albert, you've got to pitch to the glove that's behind the plate.
Absolutely, and I've only played catcher once in my lifetime, and I was really only there because I was the only muffle with enough cojones to actually, catch the guy who was throwing the high heat at the time. Everyone else couldn't do it. I'm like, sure enough, yeah, whatever, I'll be out there. But catching is an art form. It is an absolute art form, and it takes a lot to be behind the plate because you are the main support for your pitcher. Not only are you, the actual, play caller, basically, calling, what pitch you want your guy to actually throw, but you're setting the frame, you're adjusting where you want it to actually, based off your body position. You're trying to keep the hitter off his own timing. You are basically like kind of the captain of the field without actually being one of the infield or outfield defensive players.
Yeah, and you get beat up. I ended up, a friend of mine Thor Edgel, that I repped way back, played for San Francisco Giants and Detroit Tigers. He was a pitcher at Fullerton College. Asked me to go out and catch him one day just when the field was empty. He threw in the high 90s. Fastball was no problem. Then he broke one off short. Came up, bounced, caught me in the wrong spot. I dropped the glove and said, don't ever ask me again. So, I give anybody who gets behind the plate a lot of credit. Bouchane will start things off.
Fortunately for me, the level that I caught at, we weren't really throwing breaking balls just quite yet.
Never forget, I had my glove in one place, and he threw it short, and it dropped in front of me, and all I could do was, before I could say, oh no, I was on the ground. When I got off, I took all the catcher's gear off and said, that's it, I'm done.
See you next time.
Yeah. Tools of ignorance is what they used to say in the old days when you put on catcher's gear. Hit to the alley at the 373 mark, and that's where it's going to race. Bouchane glides into second base for a stand-up double.
Now batting for the Cats, 28, Junior Barajas.
Rodrigo Barajas, batting .275, or like some people tell me, hey, junior. Last time up, got on an error. Hit it over to Chase at second base. He made the play, just dropped it when he was going to throw it. Junior says, let's drop the bunt. Squares, they throw it outside. Seeing if the runner's going. Interesting, you could hear Hoskinson slap his glove at shortstop to let Bouchane know he was right behind him. There's the slap. They come in. Barajas tries to drop it back. He jabs at it. Albert, if you're going to give yourself up as a bunter. An art form in baseball that is lost, an art form that exists in softball, down to a fine art form in softball. In at first. Swings through that one. 1-2. Rodrigo just wants to pull the ball to move the runner to third. Swings through that, strike three. Brings up Hudson. Jacob Hudson, the first base person. He did drop a sacrifice bunt his first time up. Hudson takes it the right way. They gave him the hole, and they're going to hold it at the corner. So Bouchane was planning on heading home, held up. as Hudson did exactly what you need to do, hit behind the runner to advance him. He finds a space for a base hit.
And with only one out, Bouchane kind of had to hold up a little bit on the off chance that the second baseman, Quezada, actually got a hold of it, but it just got past him. So Bouchane only had enough momentum just to actually get safely to third. Did a little bit around past third, but went no further.
So a couple hits here in the fourth for Saddleback. Runners at the corner. Go over towards first. Want to keep the runner close. Don't get him moving. Infield straight away for Irvine Valley. Popped up in the infield. Should be an infield fly rule call. Didn't see an umpire raise his arm, but he should have. So Hoyer comes up. Bryson, the right fielder, batting .243 coming into this. Always interested now because a lot of umpires do not raise the hand to let them know it's an infield fly. And then you can, even though it's called, you move at your own discretion. Hoyer with runners at the corners. Breaking ball on the outside edge for a strike. So it's been a pitching battle. A couple of hits here and there. But both pitchers have stepped up when they've had to. It looks like they're being intercepted. They get that complimentary strikeout. Fouled away. It's like that perfect side dish when you go out to dinner. Just when you think your dinner's done, you look over that side dish and you go, God, that could have been a main course. Throw over to first. Deep. Chase Quezada at second base. I mean, he's in short right field. And there it is. Like I've said, the pitchers have stepped up so far in these first 4 innings. Saddleback, no runs, and 2 hits, no errors, and a couple left on base. As we head to the 5th, it's the Bobcats 0, the Lasers 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Well, Albert Robles, it really is one of the things that we have seen today that we haven't seen in a while in community college games.
Scoreless through 4?
A traditional pitching duel. I mean, there's been hits here and there. The Lasers looked like they were going to jump on top of things in the first. They didn't.
Yeah, that was really the most that they had things going in the first. Like, they had the bases loaded, and they get a ground out to first, get the out at home, preventing that lead runner out. And then they get the strikeout to end the actual inning.
Yeah, and since then, every time the pitchers needed to strike out, they've gotten it by throwing some really pretty pitches.
And Wade, on the mound for the Bobcats, like, he's been dealing here. He has 8 strikeouts through 4 innings.
Yeah, he looks good. I mean, he really looks good. Like Albert says, you look at what he's doing and you think, okay, Where have these guys been? We're always looking for pitchers. But Jack Wade is looking good today. You look at Jack so far this season. 60 strikeouts on the season for the Bobcats.
And 2 of the 4 innings he's pitched have been 1, 2, 3 innings.
Yeah. So we hit to the top of the 5th. Shorter turns, offers. Struck out his first time up. And he does choke up a little. He's got about an inch at the bottom of the bat hanging out, trying to get bat control. Lazy fly ball hit to center field. Tanaka goes over, glides underneath, and just gets that one. Out number 1. So Hoskinson comes up, shortstop. He struck out his first time up. Barajas behind the plate. Hudson at first. Castilli at second. Nicoluk at short. Allen at third. Bouchane in left. Tanaka in center. Hoyer in right. That's the defense for the Bobcats. Ben just he sort of ranges out. And you know what? We've seen 2 second base people range out in that short right field area. None of them seem to have problems going back in the ball so far today. That one, well, it barely gets out of the infield, and Nicoluk says, I've got it. So quickly, 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we just quickly go through the top of the 5th, it's the Lasers 0, the Bobcats 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. Albert, Ed, the old guy, happy to bring you this game as we look at what's going on in the OEC. Well, it could get topsy-turvy before we know what's happening on Saturday when the season ends and everybody figures out who's in, who's out, what will happen this season, and who may be going home and who may be staying for the playoffs on Sportsnet USA.net. Talked yesterday about Scott Pickler getting into the Hall of Fame. We looked at some of the numbers yesterday on some of the stats and some of the leaders that are going on. Stolen bases, Wessel leads the OEC with 17 going into the day. Saves, Allegro over at Saddleback right here still has the lead in saves. He's tied with Franson of Fullerton. Home runs, Samoya with 12 at Golden West, Allen with 12 here at Saddleback, Schmidt with 12 at Fullerton. That's the magic number for home runs. And for strikeouts, it's Pavlovsky over at Cypress with 76. Leads the OEC. Nicoluk will start things off here in the bottom of the 5th. Struck out his first time up. Takes a strike. 1-1's the count.
And a lot of credit really needs to go to Eastham here. Basically the starter, but also pitching in relief unexpectedly. And to do what he's done up till now has been really impressive.
Strike two. Yeah, because the starter gets hurt. They bring him out. He wasn't going to start, so we know he wasn't in the bullpen, warmed up earlier. Comes out, warms up for a while, and he's been dynamic for Irvine Valley.
just barely missed my car.
There we go.
I was looking for it, like seeing if it hit like that exterior net, it actually cleared it.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Albert ready to get the speed dial. Saddleback would like to get something going. Irvine Valley wants to keep the door shut. Nicolak. Not enough. It does. It gets down. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Nicolak walks into second and stand right there.
Great heads up by Shorter to back up his center fielder on the barely missed diving play.
Yes, Stafford goes out. Knew it was dying, Albert, and decided to make that dive. And, you know, if you're going to make that dive, you've got to make that dive to get your body in front of the ball. If you can't catch it, couldn't do that. And that allows Nicolak with a stand-up double. Three hits now for your Bobcats. Castelli comes up. Last time up, got plunked. Struck out his first time up. Serrato comes out. Gives the signs to the infield. If this happens, you're going to do that. He brings people in now. So he gives the sign to let him know, hey, he may lay down a bunt. You all need to walk in a half a step. Hoskinson now is going to dog the runner. Now they run a wheel play. Trying to beat the runner into taking off with the shortstop. So with shortstop will break to third. They hope the runner goes with them. Then they slide in their second baseman and turn and throw behind the runner. Nicolak doesn't bite on any of it, just sits there at second base. Nice bunt down the third baseline. Wheel, and you look. Here's the thing. You get that out. That was a perfect bunt. Down the third baseline. Force the third baseman. He can't get it. You have the pitch come off the mound. He picks it up. Runner realizes that's a no-go, and then he can't get the runner at first. A sweet little bunt for a base hit. Picking on Mr. Pavlovich after I said the art form wasn't here in the game of baseball. Tanaka comes up, no outs, runners on the corner. Shortstop and second, double play depth. Third, even with the bag. Tanaka fouls it off. So Gavin over at third, even with the bag. Connor at short, Chase at second. They're both at double play depth for Irvine Valley. Throw over to first. Gretzmacher, the third baseman. Hoskinson, the shortstop. Wazeda, the second baseman for Irvine Valley. Snitko, the first base person. That's the infield for the Lasers. On the corner, Tanaka doesn't like the call. Walks out. It's going to take his time getting back in. 0-2's the count. Throw to first. The other day in a college game, I actually saw from North Carolina. The guy's over at third. Right about now, pitcher looked at him, and then he took off and stole home.
That's hard to do.
And the pitcher actually threw a pitch, and Albert, he beat the pitch home.
Wow.
I mean, this guy just said, I'm going. High. So this is where if you're Irvine Valley, you're looking for that big put out. Keep looking at the runner at first. Of course, realize if you step off incorrectly, the runner gets a score on a balk. If you throw it away, the runner gets a score from third. Fly into left field. Center field takes it over. The runner goes, throws off the plate, so he will score on a sacrifice fly. So Nicolak scores on the sac fly by Tanaka. And on the play, the runner at first advances to second.
Really great heads-up base running there.
And we're going to get a conversation out here with the score 1-0 right now in favor of your Bobcats here on sports@usa.net. And, of course, Albert, that's where if you're an outfielder, you've got to realize, okay, it's a short fly ball. Do I really have a chance to get the runner at home? If I don't have a chance, and when you looked at it, it really was that conversation between Stafford and Shorter, which one was going to catch it, because at first it looked like Shorter and left was going to get it. Then Stafford comes over with thinking he's got the better angle, which really it wasn't a guy that was backing up, catching it going forward to make the throw. I think you should have just said, okay, they're going to score. Let me hold the runner at first.
Absolutely. I mean, like in those situations, unless you're really, really confident, you got to hit your cutoff man, because that would have prevented Castelli from finding himself at second base. So now you still have one out and a runner in scoring position, and still 2 outs to actually get, with the heart of the lineup pretty much coming up, and Allen, Bouchane, and Barajas.
So we'll see if that throw was a mistake on Irvine Valley's part. Allen swings through the first pitch. Trying to keep the runner close to second. Down in the dirt. 1-1's the count. So somebody finally gets on the board here in the 5th inning. It's your Bobcats. Right back up the middle. Seeing Eye Dog trying to get the runner at first. They can't. He's safe right there. Deep play in the hole. Just enough to mark it down, but a tough throw out of the back of his shoulder to get the runner. And they can't do it as JC gets a clean infield single.
Yeah, all of the momentum from Quezada making that effort to field the ball was great, but it took him away from first base. Having to go across the body is hard to do when you're heading towards the third base side of the field.
Yeah, but a nice stop, to say the least. So runners at the corner again. Bouchane comes up. Had a double his last time up. He says, I'm bunting. On the inside of the plate, takes a strike, gets the infield on the move. Snitko crashing from first. Throw back over to first. Runners at the corner, 1 run in. Three hits in this inning. Five in the game so far for your Bobcats. Down the right field line, foul territory, going there, trying to make a play. And if you catch that, the runner from third is going to score.
Easily. Like that's one of those plays where it's like, you know what? I could make the out here.
But should I?
But should you? And the answer is no. Like, I might be better off just letting this one go foul and have my pitcher be at least ahead in the count.
Yeah, it's a real hard play because part of you wants to catch it, and you're not saying miss it, miss it, miss it. High and tight for a ball. 1-2. One and two count. Pitcher steps off the rubber. Everybody stays where they're at in the infield. Runners go back. Walk off a couple feet off the bases at first and third. Deep center field. That should score a run. It easily does as Bouchane drives in a run with a sacrifice fly. So 2 runs in for Saddleback. And that brings up the catcher, Barajas. Takes that on the outside of the plate for a strike. Consistent strike zone from the home plate umpire for both pitchers. Nobody's getting cheated by him back there. Barajas takes it into right field for a base hit. Runner turns, heads for second. Barajas stays at first on a sweet single. Hit number 4 in the inning. So once again, runners at the corner. And it seems like this has worked for him. Brings up Jacob Hudson. 2-0 Bobcats. Hudson says, go ahead, you can throw it at me. I'll just show you I got flexibility. Hudson fouls it off, back towards Albert's car. One and one's the count. Down in the dirt. Serrato makes a nice block over there by sliding over with the ball, getting in front of it, making sure it doesn't get away with a runner at third. Back up the middle. That should be a hit. It is. Another run comes in. C&I single for Hudson. An RBI.
A little bit of a hit parade going on here in the fifth.
We do, yeah. 5 hits now. Nobody at first base. So the runner wasn't being held on. The pitcher doesn't look, and all he does is turn around to try to get the runner first. There's no one home. They let the dog out, and they all went for a walk. So muscle memory makes him throw to first, and of course, then you got to say, well, wait a minute, was it your muscle or your memory that wasn't working on that one? As runners advance to second and third.
Obvious E1.
So now a base hit would make you feel very comfortable if you're the Bobcats. 3 runs in on 5 hits in this inning.
A little more sun breaking through right now over the stadium. Center field was half in shadow, but now in pure sunlight.
So when you go with those complimentary 5 hits, you have those very nice sacrifice flies that paid off for you in this game so far, if you're a Bobcat fan. Just a little low. Down again. Three and 0. 1 pitch away from jamming the bases for the Bobcats. So it's a Bobcat jamboree as they walk the bases loaded.
Going to bring up the 9th hitter of this inning in Hoyer.
Bryson struck out twice in this game so far. So
And it looks like we're actually going with a pinch hitter here.
Jason Wright is going to come up. So Wright, batting 204, will pinch hit. So bases loaded, 2 outs, 3 runs in, 5 hits in the inning. Right. Open stance. Takes that inside. So the lefty with the front foot open. So he opens up his right foot just to get those hips to turn a little quicker when he hits the ball. It's like trying to get your hips through when you're hitting the golf ball. Want to get them through to get the power. Breaking ball for a strike. He didn't like the call, but that was a nice looking pitch. Right waits. Just rolls it over. Easy play McDuck later. That second. But not before 3 runs get on the board. 3 runs on 5 hits, no error, and a couple left on base. We head to the top of the 6th. It's the Bobcats 3, the Lasers 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. I'm going to ask Albert Robles if he can take a check around the OEC in a second, see if we've got some updates on what's going on, since all those games matter too here in the playoffs and who's going where.
Let's take a look here. Let's get some refresh on the statistics.
It's always wonderful with technology. That every once in a while when you need it, it just says, especially if you're me, I don't think so. You know. Doesn't like me when I need it. It doesn't like me anyway. So, you know. I'm old. I get it.
All right, here we go. So currently in the top of the 5th, Cypress leads Riverside 5-1. Hilariously enough, no scoring update on the OEC website between Saddleback and Irvine Valley. But on the top of the 5th, Golden West leads Orange Coast 6-0. And in the bottom of the 4th, Santa Ana still holding steady over Fullerton 2-0.
So McCarron comes up. Had a single in the 3rd, trailing 3-0. Saddleback up on top. So we head to the top of the 6th. You're on Sportsnet, USA.net. Karen down the right field line. Long run. But taken there by Bryson Hoyer, who makes the play.
That would be Wright in right field.
Oh, there's a new right fielder?
Well, Wright came in for Hoyer, and I guess there was a defensive replacement.
So Derflinger is in right now? Okay, thank you. James Derflinger is now in right. So Derflinger makes the play there. Nicoluk over to first. So Snitko comes up. Has a single and a strikeout. So Jack Wade, the freshman, pitching a nice game here for the Bobcats. Wade letting the defense do its work. Puts it right down the middle. Wade has 8 strikeouts in this game. And the big thing about that, no walks.
By George, I do believe you are correct. Strikeout number 9.
So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We head to top of 7. Saddleback 3. Irvine Valley 0 here on Sportsnet USA.net.
Bottom of the 6th, but yes.
Oh, bottom of 6, that's right. Tried to cheat him out of an inning, didn't I? I'm just trying to make it go faster, that's all.
I mean, we really have been rolling right along this game.
Yeah, I just, I don't want that hiccup where all of a sudden now we go into, we've been to too many of those. Let's bring in a relief pitcher.
But really just the inning that Wade needed to have. Like, you have your offense, give it 3 runs, then you put up a 0. Exactly what you needed to do. So new pitcher on the mound is going to be number 34.
Colin Ree.
IVC.
So Colin Ree comes in. For Irvine Valley. ERA of 4.41 for Colin. Big right-hander out on the mound. So Eastham did a nice job, considering that it was an injury replacement on his part.
And really wasn't until the 5th that things kind of got away from him, but he was, really rolling along too.
So we'll look at what happens at the end of the day when you get done with everybody playing, see if anybody moves up, moves down in the OEC, who's in, who's out for at least Friday night. Then you wake up Saturday morning and realize, you know what, let's do it again. Who's here today may be gone tomorrow, so we'll play one more just to see what happens. So make sure you follow all your teams in the OEC. So we batted around in the last inning, the 5th. So we're going to start things off exactly where we did in the 5th inning with Nikoluk. It's going to lead it off. He had a double to start the 5th. Let's see what he does here in the 6th. Drives it to right field. This time not into the alley. Murray goes over and makes a play on that one. Not quite the same spot as last time and different results. Castelli comes up. He had a single in the 5th. Struck out, hit by a pitch, then he got a single. So he's 1 for 2 this afternoon. Off the plate for a ball. Castelli pops it up in the infield. Hoskinson takes control. Brings it in for out number 2. Brings up Tanaka. Was a foot race as he hit it to first in the 1st inning for an out. Grounds out to first in the 3rd inning. And then gets a RBI fly ball at a needed time for your Bobcats. For a sacrifice fly. Breaks on the inside of the plate, just across the corner, drops by his left foot. So his back foot is his left foot. Comes down by the toe, but it crossed over the plate for a strike. Again, same pitch. So it's not necessarily when you watch it in the strike zone, it's not necessarily where a catcher catches the ball. It's where the ball comes over the white part of the plate. Tanaka puts it up the alley towards the 373 mark. He's putting on the afterburner into second with a sliding double.
Just manages to stay on the base, almost came off it.
And that brings up J.C. Allen. J.C. had a single in the 5th. J.C. hoping to get a long throw across. Can't dig it out at first base. Litzmarker makes a bad throw. J.C. slides in. He's safe. So it's going to be an E5.
Holding up at third as Tanaka had to kind of wait and see where the first baseman was going to go with the actual throw. But it's going to be runners in scoring position here for the Bobcats.
Yep, Bouchane comes up. 2 down, 2 on. Bouchane puts a spark into it. Not far enough. But Schroeder gets over there to make the catch. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 left on base. Now through 6 innings. It's the Bobcats 3. Here on Sports today is right there at 2.42. He's number 3 in the OEC at the start of today's game.
There we go. Good lead off here, 3-2.
Stanford pulls out. He leads off the 7th inning. Got under the fielder's choice. Flown out to center.
IBC 32 showed Stafford.
So he's 1 for 1 today. Shoot.
Hey, right here, huh? Come on, Stafford, I'm you. Outstanding, go, get yours.
Defense has been good for him today. Clinches. That came around. 3-2's the count. 3-2. Barajas goes to the far outside corner. And of course, you watch Stafford reach for it and can't get it. For another strikeout for him. Drew Seidel, or Seidel, as they called him. So I hear the dugout yelling Seidel. So I'm gonna go with Seidel because that's what I just heard from the dugout. Drew batting .298. We'll see if Drew comes into the game defensively. On the corner, but low. Swings through that. Strike 2. Infield playing deep. Want to make sure they track the ball down, make the play. Jack Wade says, you know what? I need another strikeout.
Batting for IBC 8, Aaron Serrano.
That continues the marathon of getting strikeouts in this game. Aaron Serrano. Aaron 0 for 2 today. Jack's now got 10 strikeouts in this game. The longer he goes, the more he gets. hasn't made a mistake. There's no hiccups behind him. He's down low. Jackson has got consistency as a pitcher on the mound today. Overthrows that one. Hudson at first, Castelli at second, Nicola at short, Allen at third, Shane in left, Tanaka in center, and Derflinger in right. Pop. Hudson says, it's mine. I'll cruise on over to second base and make the catch. 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, it is now your Bobcats 3, the Laser 0, here on Sportsnet, USA.net. What? 11 strikeouts? Albert's got 11. I might have. Just looking at Albert, seeing what I might have missed here. So you got 4. I got 4. Then I had 3 there. Then I had 1 in the 4th. Is that what I'm missing? No, I got 1 in the 4th. I didn't have any in the 5th. But 1 in the 6th. Yeah, and I got 2 in the 7th. I got 10. Did I do that wrong? What did I miss? Did I miss one there, Albert? Because then I'm missing one from 1 inning.
I think I'm tripping myself up too now.
Want to make sure we get it right because he is pitching such a beautiful ball game.
Yeah, I got 11 because I got 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd, struck out the side in the 3rd. That would make it 7. You had 1 in the 4th, so that's 8. 1 in the 6th, that's 9. And then 2 in the 7th, 11.
Okay. Junior hits it to right field for a base hit. Jacob Hudson now comes up. Had a nice little sacrifice in the 2nd. RBI single in the 5th. Down in the dirt. So Shorter is now over at third base. And I'll check to see if Seidel is in left now for him. Bunt dropped. Throw to second and off the bag. And you drop that bunt 4 inches in front of the plate. You give yourself against Irvine Valley. Two on, no outs. here in the 7th. Another bunt laid down. Throw to third. They throw it down the third baseline. 1 run in. 2 runs in on a miss. We get another error. Serve to you. Drop another bunt. Throw just in time.
That's the man.
Whole thing in this game. Saddleback. Playing small ball, and it is working in this inning. Two runs on 1 hit. Couple big errors. Nicolak comes up. Struck out, had a double, flew to right field his last time up. Swings at one way off the plate. Five to nothing here in the bottom of the 7th. Your Bobcats just stretching the lead out. Pop foul off to the right on a beautiful Friday afternoon here at Saddleback College. Blue skies, calm temperature, little breeze, green grass. Nice setting for baseball. Driven, right field, caught there, tagging, nobody moved. So Nicolak flies out. We go to Castelli. Struck out his first time up, got hit by a pitch, then got a single in the 5th, and then popped out to short in the 6th. Rolls his hands over. Picked up right there by Pizzetta. Doesn't throw in time on a double clutch at second base, and that's a base hit. So he gets an RBI on that as a run scores. And it's out 6-0.
You never really want to lose focus on the runners, but when you've made 2 throwing errors trying to get out the runner, maybe you should just focus on the hitter.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to be in the alley. Does it make it to the wall? It does. They should keep the runners going. Turn, heading for home. Stand up on a stand-up double by Tanaka.
have softball give their schedule, their coaches, one schedule, and then Jason and the ADs schedule a group, put them next to each other, we'll look at them in the meeting, vote for which one you want.
That's on next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, vote for which one you want, and then that's what we'll work for.
So 4 runs in on 3 hits and a couple huge errors here in this inning. Saddleback is cruising on a Friday afternoon. Well, it's a perfect day to go for a drive. Blue skies, cool weather, roll the top down. Be sitting in that nice little Impala or Malibu. Going back a few years. A little topped. C9. They're going to make the throw. Runner is safe. Pulled off the bag. Error number 3.
Taking a look at the replay and a little bit of my fine camera work. Very clearly was on the bag before the defensive player came down at first.
See, now I'm a little tougher than people to my left. I call those ugly errors. I know a Saddleback score will give the people a hit, so you can call it the way you want to while you're watching it here. But I'm old and I'm old school, and if a guy makes a misplay, I'm going to call it on him. So, and if you're a Saddleback scorekeeper, you're going to give him a base hit. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if it's much of a misplay if he still caught the ball.
He pulled the guy off the bag.
Pulled him up, not off.
He pulled him up. He was off. You're not going to, that's me. You know.
And you can't put a 7th error up there.
I can.
The 6 looks bad enough.
The 7 doesn't work.
Yeah.
Our errors only go to 6.
Ball goes down, swung at. Runner takes off to first. Run scores Tanaka on a swinging strike 3, but the runner makes it to first. So let's add another run on that. As Bouchane is over at first base.
And we have officially batted around this inning.
We have. 5 runs in now.
We do the best. He can't get it together, then that's what he gets.
8-0. Saddleback. And we go back to the top of the order.
You don't really want to nitpick on a guy who's just come in and stuff like that, but I'm going to do it anyway. But Colin Ree, when you make that wild pitch, you got to be faster off the mound. You really got to be backing up your catcher at home plate. Sure, you might not have had a play in time, but he wasn't even there if you had a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Lazy fly ball out the left field. Seidel finally stops the bleeding, but not before. 5 runs on 3 hits. In my eyes, 3 errors. As now Saddleback is up 8-0 over the Lasers here on Sportsnet, USA.net. We head to the top of the 8th. If Irvine Valley's going to do something, they better do it now, because Saddleback looks like they are just having a great time today, securing that playoff spot. See if it'll be at home or not. They've got one more tomorrow, and when they get done, we'll see what ends up happening when it's time to call the playoffs. And I guess that should come out, on Sunday? They should have everything settled for the playoffs. So make sure you check the OEC and the 3C2A to see what the playoffs will be in North and Southern California. We know you're only concerned with Southern California, unless you've got a son or daughter in the Northern California regions that are playing softball, baseball, or other sports, and check to see what you want and who may be doing what in the playoffs. We'll let you know what we've got going on. Check our homepage on sportsnetusa.net. So, of course, when we look at Sportsnet, yeah, you're going to look at the end of the day saying, wait a minute, Mark had 1,400 errors in that game yesterday. Well, you know, Corey Nalen, luckily you're not here because Ed Ford would be potting one of us down, because one of us would be saying that's an error and the other one would be saying it's a base hit here on sportsnetusa.net. We head to the top of the 8th. Irvine Valley. Shorter gets up. Now playing third base for Irvine Valley. Struck out in the second. Flew out to center field in the 5th. And, of course, Jack Wade is just going fantastic on the mound. Albert, I mean, masterpiece? I mean, I know it's not a no-hitter, but he's keeping everybody off balance when you think about it. Except Jack Wade is now gone in this game.
It's Allegro on the mound now. But, I mean, 7 innings of shutout ball for Wade is exactly what the Bobcats needed heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, and Allegro is tied with saves. Shorter, gets it to short. Quick throw. Nice little play by Nicoluk over at short to get the out. Yeah, so Allegro's got 6 saves. He's tied with the lead in the OEC. If he gets the save today, that'll give him 7, and he'll be in the lead for saves here in the OEC at the end of the day. Hoskinson comes up, struck out, popped to second. Little high. Not much, just a little. Breaking ball. Just at the end. Gives that little snap off the edge of the plate. Down in the dirt for a ball. 2-2's the count. Easy little one upper over to third base. J.C. Allen says, hey, that's elementary for out number 2. Sada comes up now. Had a base hit, then was forced out in the first, struck out in the third. Outfield straight away. In the middle of the infield, playing deep. Barajas getting as low as he can behind the plate. Fouled away. Saddleback feeling comfortable here in the 8th inning. Popped up. Hudson comes on over and says, "That's mine." And it is. 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Well, the number 8 seems contagious. It's the Bobcats 8, the Lasers 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net.
One more check of the out-of-town scoreboard here on the last Friday of the season. Of the regular season, that is. They have gone to the bottom of the 8th now. Golden West leads Orange Coast 10-1. And the bottom of the 8th now, Cypress leads Riverside 10-3. And in the top of the 7th now, Santa Ana leads Fullerton 5-2. If everything stays put as is, technicality of...
Well, Albert, I'm going to let you go through those if you've got the update there, because I know people can hear it in the background, but just to make sure everybody actually hears what's going on.
Oh, yeah, so some scoring updates across the OEC. So Cypress currently leading Riverside 10-3. They're in the bottom of the 8th. Of course, it's 8-0 here out at Saddleback versus Irvine Valley. Out at Orange Coast, Golden West leads the Pirates 10-1 in the bottom of the 8th. And at the top of the 7th, Fullerton trails 2-5 against Santa Ana. And if you are a Saddleback fan, you kind of want Fullerton to win that game against Santa Ana.
Yeah, to Cal State. I believe both the coaches went to Cal State Fullerton. I know Coach Baum did. I think the coach for Santa Ana also went to Cal State Fullerton. I'd have to check that. Hudson flies deep to center field. Stafford crawls underneath that for the first out. So Deutsch comes up. Got on the last time with an error. Popped out to second in the 4th. Popped out to second in the 2nd. And I should say, walked in the 5th. Comfortable lead, 8-0 here in the 8th for your Bobcats. High and tight. Just a bender to get him out of the way. Well, Cypress won yesterday. They're winning again today. Fullerton lost yesterday. They're losing again today. So at the end of the day, things could be topsy and turvy. Breaking ball for a strike. Curveball.
Let's see, well, Cypress winning really won't affect their standings a whole lot, but it would shake things up with Riverside, Fullerton, Saddleback, and Santa Ana all kind of being in the same general area.
So a bobble, a kick. Darren Shorter throws over. I was going to say, I know what I'd make that. So they can put a 7 up on the board for me. That'll be another error against Irvine Valley. E5. Number down the first baseline, foul. See, they'd have loved it with the game what Ryan Osborne and I did at Fullerton College because we called 7 errors on a third baseman in a game over there till his dad finally walked in and looked at all of us and said, "That's my son." And Ryan said, "You should teach him how to catch." Dad was not happy. And Albert, they were 7 errors. Fullerton ended up with a total of 15 errors in the game.
Wasn't just you being a grump?
No. I mean, it was, I'd look at Ryan and Ryan would just say, yeah, you're right. It's an error.
Well, if Ryan says it.
Oh, thanks a lot. 2 down on a strikeout.
I mean, Ryan's pretty pragmatic.
Yeah. Well, Ryan and I were having a great time that day because balls would get hit right to guys and they would catch it and drop it, kick it. Drive to right field. Nicolak's hoping to get one. He doesn't as he gets caught out in right field by Caden Burke. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 left on base. We head to the 9th. Well, they're in control. It's Saddleback 8, Irvine Valley 0 here on Sportsnet, USA.net. It's not. Too many runs. Okay. So,
if you came into the 7th and pitched a minimum 3 innings, it's a save.
Okay. Well, see, they pick on me because I'm giving too many errors, but when I try to put this kid into the lead with saves for the season, I get informed it's not a save opportunity, and you can explain why.
Oh, well, the qualifications to earn a save are either 1, you have a lead of no more than 3 runs and pitch 1 inning, or you pitch a minimum of 3 innings regardless of what the score is. And then 3, you come in with the tying run about at the plate or on deck, I believe.
Okay, so there gives you the reason why he's not going to get a save. But he's pitching good enough too. Unfortunately, this time I'm overruled as there's a drive into the alley, going all the way to the wall. As McCarron will get in to second base. Shot to short, bobbled, pick up, throw to first, can't get the runner, and so a run comes in to score for Irvine Valley. So all of a sudden, Irvine Valley gets a run in with a runner over at second base on an error. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I might as well stay consistent if I'm going to do it. So that's going to be E5. E6, excuse me. As the run comes and scores. Let the runner go to third. Get the sure out at first base, which City does. So Stafford comes up. Runner moves over to third base. So 1 out, 8-1. And this is where if it's hit on the ground or wherever it's hit out to left field. Caught. Runner will score. Let him score for out number 2. So on a sac fly by Stafford. And he gets an RBI. 2 down. Nomar Vasquez comes up for Irvine Valley. So a double and an error and a sacrifice fly produces 2 runs for Irvine Valley here in the 9th. They're down to their last out. They need some sort of blessing to keep this inning going. Shot. Looked at. Quick throw. They get him. And your Bobcats are going to come away with a victory.
That's going to do it. Bobcats win it by a count of 8-2. Lineup.
So Saddleback wins this one 8-2 over Irvine Valley. Make sure you check the homepage for all the playoff games that are going to show up. Make sure you check the homepage at sportsnetusa.net as your Bobcats beat Irvine Valley 8-2 here today on sportsnetusa.net.
I had the playoff schedule, but that's okay.